we've talked about Hell, we've talked about Odin. What's the next surprise pick? I mean, even in terms of hunters, just for Cloud9, because they're all over the place.
Yeah, at this point, I'd be pretty disappointed to see BaRRa play a hunter he's already played. I want to make sure he keeps mixing it up. He keeps using situationally really strong picks like the Hu Yi. Couldn't get trapped in the Odin cage, one of the very few hunters that can actually jump out of the Odin cage, was a very smart pick. As long as he keeps situationally picking smart, he's going to be just fine.
I would love to see a strong mechanical god coming out of BaRRaCCuDDa, like Ullr specifically. BaRRaCCuDDa's a very talented mechanical player, and Ullr definitely fits that role. So maybe we can see Ullr coming out of him this next game.
And actually, just in terms of flow, I feel like Cloud9, every game, BaRRaCCuDDa just gets more gold than the opposing hunter. I'm not sure if that's pushing. I'm not sure if he's getting more camps. He's just always somehow financially ahead, despite not even like going into fights, just from the laning phase. Can you explain that?
A big thing that BaRRa does is a couple things. One, he loves hunters that have strong push. AMC in particular that game, he was ahead of Zap even though he had died 5 times because the entire game up to like 20 minutes he was pushing Zap underneath the tower. Zap's losing gold to the tower. Another thing he liked is he likes counter picking the opposing ADC as well as the opposing team. And when you do that smart counter pick, you have the AMC against Blanke, I'll push him on the tower. You have the Hu Yi versus an Odin so he can jump out of the cage. It allows you to get ahead and get early and allow to farm up in your lane, and then he gets into team fights and that's where he's the strongest.
And speaking of the Hu Yi, we saw like a lot of strong ricochets coming out of BaRRaCCuDDa that game, and a good placed ultimates. It was actually funny that one time where it was really well placed, but then the Sobek plucked him out of the Hu Yi ulti. But regardless, really strong mechanical play coming out of BaRRaCCuDDa.
Looks like picks and bans have picked up, so let's go ahead and take a good look at that. All right, Serqet, will it be the first ban?
I mean, we got to stay strong with the traditional Serqet first ban, but I don't know. Like, if they want to switch things up, maybe they'll even pick Serqet, their first pick, so maybe they'll leave it open.
I mean, Ullr is on the blue side. They can be the team to not pick Geb for the top left position for that first pick, but I'll wait on that.
I would love for them. Right now, they haven't banned the Serqet. We got Wukong and Khepri on the board. Khepri, a very typical second ban here. They took out the Geb. This is forcing Cloud9 probably into a Serqet ban. Otherwise, you're definitely going to see Serqet first pick, and I'd love to see that out of Ullr.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we have seen a Serqet this whole tournament, so it wouldn't actually surprise me to see if Ullr first picks it here.
I mean, at this point, it's like Serqet, like, I'm forgetting what she does just from the ban raids. It's like she's like a scorpion thing. Like, she has some poisons or something. But I don't know. What makes Serqet so scary that every team wants to ban her?
The big thing about Serqet is you can travel from the solo lane to the hunter lane in a matter of 6 seconds because of blink in your jumps and all of your movement abilities, and being able to gank one lane and gank the entire side of the map 5 seconds later is a big ability.
So right now Ullr is teasing the Anubis pick. They were talking about it earlier with Cloud9, that how Cloud9 fears the Anubis. So this could be legit, this could be troll. Right now they have nothing to lose really. They're down 0-2, but if they want to shift the momentum, they're going to actually lock in the Janus. I was kind of hoping for the Anubis pick here.
So, real talk, when the Anubis came out, the loudest people about that was actually Cloud9, just reacting to it, going like, wait a second, I don't know if we want to see that. However, that does leave the Serqet open. Serqet immediately locked in as well.
That's a very risky pick coming out from Ullr right now. You know, Janus is a very hard target to catch, but Serqet, one of the only people in the game that can actually catch a Janus. He goes through a portal, Serqet goes over the wall. You ulti on Janus, you go over the wall again on Serqet. So it's one of those things you have to be very careful about.
I think that the Serqet was left open on purpose, maybe to bait that out, and then they would go into a Thor pick themselves. So we'll see how that turns out as Cloud9 is waiting for their second pick here. They're hovering over Freya, and it does get locked in.
All right, the Freya pick. Now, I just have to ask, is there some good synergy between Freya and Serqet?
Freya is just one of those characters that's really late game oriented. This is actually almost the opposite of what BaRRa's been doing lately with the early game push. Freya does not have push. I would expect Zapman to go something crazy. Bellona coming out right now. This could actually be Bellona support. This is something we see a lot of times in scrims because the disarm on the Freya after she uses her pulse means she has absolutely 0 lane clear.
That's a good point of putting it. If you counter the Hunter clear, it's like then you're going to put Zapman in a position to carry. So maybe that's what they need to shift the series around and maybe put Zapman in a position to carry in the early to mid game and transition it for a win for Ullr and turn this whole series around as Nuwa gets locked in third for Cloud9.
And we're also seeing some follow-up from Athena. Does Athena's ultimate stop the true damage from Serqet at all, though?
Athena damage is percentage reduction, so it pretty much stops the damage on everything. More importantly, though, it gives that global presence. They also have a lot of positions right now this Athena could go into. She could theoretically go into 3 different positions right now because Bellona you're going to see also possibly in 3 positions, jungle, support, or solo. So they've left a lot open, and Cloud9 has no idea where any of these picks are going.
Yeah, Ullr definitely has a wide variety of a god pool. So Athena and Bellona could go solo, could go jungle, could go support between those two picks. So a lot of flexibility that they leave open here, as Ullr actually bans Ymir third, which is surprising because I don't think Ymir... There was actually one game where they baited a Ares pick for COG where they picked Ymir the first game, but then after that they banned Ares immediately after that. And I don't think Ymir has been played since the first game, Ullr versus COG.
Yeah, with that in mind, I guess we just don't know what Ullr are going to do. And neither does Cloud9. They can take their guesses. They can take their predictions. Like, oh, they should be doing this. But right now, in terms of just knowing their comp, it is all in Ullr's ball.
Yeah, interesting Sobek pick coming out here. Sobek, not terrible unclear, better than, gods like Geb, but not something crazy clear-wise you'd expect to see with Freya, like a Sylvanas, who can really help carry Freya through this laning phase. I hope that it is indeed a Bellona support. I would love to see that aggression onto the Freya here early, and I hope to see an aggressive Hunter. I want to see Zap break out Medusa, something that can just bop Freya early. That's what I'm really looking towards.
I think the Sobek pick definitely transitions good into the mid-game teamfights with the new wall, where you plug somebody into the new wall, get an easy kill there. As Ullr gets locked in for Zapman there, it very fits his playstyle type god out of Ullr, so I'm very happy to see that. And Naja being locked in also. So it does look like it's actually going to be Naja jungle, Athena support with Bellona. Oh, wait a sec.
I mean, they can always kind of move it around, is the thing.
It could be flex picks. Yeah, here we go. We don't know.
We don't know. Cloud9 doesn't know. What are they going to do to round off this team? And really, can they make the predictions? They're not going to know till those gods match up with their player.
Yeah, at this point, I expect something tanky to come out. They have the front. They have the damage here with Serqet, Freya, Nuwa. They got plenty of damage. Sobek, not the best frontline character. He doesn't have the best base stats. And we see Osiris coming out, one of the tankier characters in the game for the solo lane here for Baskin, as we can try to see what is happening over here on Ullr and where we're going to see the characters being played. It looks like they're going to go the traditional route here, but PolarBearMike on Athena and Omega on the Bellona.
All right, with that in mind, we're going to throw it to the caster desk. Allied, Bart, F. Take it away.
Welcome to the commentary desk for game number 3, ladies and gentlemen. And this is the final stand of Ullr. No more L's to give over to Cloud9 this time. But I think they've drafted a lineup that's very...
That's Ullr.
Ullr.
Yes. I there's a lot of Smite to be played. The game isn't over in picks and bans. But looking at the picks and bans, I think that Ullr has a better start and a better chance to take this one than the last two. And I would not be surprised to see this, at the very least, at game 4.
You see a much well-rounded kind of champ selection or god selection for Ullr here, and this is, if anything, like Cloud9's on fire right now.
Their eco round is really good too.
It's and but
really good ledge guard.
Yeah, yes. But the momentum coming out of Cloud9 right now in the finals is like BaRRa's on point. Like he's been playing like a monster to win lane like that 2 games in a row. Just absolutely insane. And then Baskin has really. I mean, everyone's saying he's like the second coming of Cyclone Spin, right?
Yeah, I mean, as we said, Cloud9 is very excited to pick him up. I've seen him play. We've seen him play online. This is the performance that's making me go,
yeah,
okay, yeah, definitely.
It's very, very rare to see Omega die in lane, right? You'll see, I mean, all players get beat from time to time, right? And you'll see Omega sometimes get maybe out-rotated or picked off in team fights or get caught out of position.
But to die 3 times
right, but to die 3 times in lane, right? That just goes to show you how good Baskin plays, because Omega is known for being an extremely, extremely fundamentally sound player and safe.
So we see Zapman's Ullr, and let me remind you guys, this is Zapman's Ullr. This is the first aggressive hunter he's played.
Right, everything else has been late game. Xbalanque pretty much every pick.
Yeah, so looking to see what he is going to do here with PolarBearMike. Omega going Bellona solo versus Baskin's Osiris, so it's going to be a complete farm lane, maybe some kills. But I think the big story here is they prioritized Janus first pick. Lassiz Janus is amazing, by the way, but they gave up Serqet. So it's really up to Andinster to make this Serqet pick work. And if it's like, the denial game, for example, I expect to see a lot of ganks on Omega.
Well, we're glossing over the fact that it's a Naja for Daretocare, which is a very, very seldom seen god. We saw her once before this tournament.
Which I think I think Naja is underpicked. Obviously not one of the top tiers. There are many ways to get around it. We've mentioned Magi's Blessing, which isn't efficient anymore, but Beads and Aegis do the job, as well as some other things. But when it comes to Daretocare playing this character, again, you can just take a player out of the fight for a couple of seconds. Whether or not you kill them, that's one thing, but you can eliminate the character out of the fight.
Well, standards start coming out from the teams here. One thing that's also going to be probably happen at some point during this game, that it's always fun to see is the Naja ultimate into the Janus portal.
Yes.
Oh, the loop where you just keep falling forever. Like, oh man,
the fall forever.
And then the Kumba shows up, knocks you back up in the air. You need a little bit of that. That's got to be fun. No Kumba this time around. That was played by your support. Give us
just likes Kumba, man.
Yeah, well, we're here for a second. Why don't you give us a little insight into that one? I thought it was very much, we actually had two opinions. There was the idea that it was all about sort of just isolating people in crowd control. I like the idea of just eliminating somebody off the map with straight single target damage.
Well, it looks like here we're going to have a regame based on the players all dropping out, so you'll be seeing our smiling faces here in just a moment. But yeah, quick regame going to come out. Not sure the reason why, but I see Dan the admin walking around with his samurai top knot.
He's looking so serious.
He's ready. But as far as the Kumba pick, we were going to put a lot more pressure, but they picked Apollo Geb, which is probably the most ungankable lane in history. Like, it's as safe as you can be. And, yeah, like, pretty much nothing happened with it.
So the idea was to be more aggressive?
It was, but, like, it never worked out. And then Weekend just couldn't do anything. And he fell like 3-4 levels behind because he was Athena jungle. So it just nothing worked out the way we went. On top of that, like there was complaints of like lag and all that stuff. But all excuses aside, it just our game plan didn't work out as planned. And if we wanted to make stuff happen, it just after early game we kind of fell too far behind. Yeah,
there was that one sick play where Weekend just like didn't move after his tower went down.
That was pretty funny.
And he got killed.
Yeah, I think he blamed his keyboard there.
Yeah,
you know? Like, I don't know.
It's always let's come back.
But why are you really into firing shots today?
I'm not, dude. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
it was an interesting play.
But
or that time that he taunted 3 and Ally did nothing.
Oh, dude,
that was my favorite play.
Our keyboards just suck.
Yeah,
like, I don't know what's going on.
Some kind of
my mouse was like, I don't know what happened there.
Unfortunate, but this is at the end of the day an exhibition, friendly during the off week.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kind of the All-Star game, more or less, for North America.
This is not Super Regionals. This is not Worlds. This is a very nice LAN treated from Cognitive. I mean, thank you, like obviously AFK Lounge, our sponsors, and obviously Cognitive for throwing this all together. It's been a great time here in San Jose, and I'm sure everyone's had a great time.
I'm a little
mostly.
disappointed I don't get to meet the Grand Wizard that started Melior Moria.
Oh, that's. No, you can
so
just
it was
talk
founded
to him
by an Archmage or
you
something.
You can talk to him downstairs. He's playing H1Z. And he sells, made for BM T-shirts. So,
man.
But
that was Weekend's idea?
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
Melior Moria?
It's not my idea. I hated that.
Just throw Weekend under the bus.
At Weekend with a 3 on Twitter.
Not just in game, but out of game as well. You just throw Weekend under the bus.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can also play with him for $50 an hour. So I don't know, man. Like the Grand Wizard.
I need a
will
lesson.
Teach you all. Oh yeah, you can hit him up on PayPal. So.
I think it's absolutely hilarious. Weekend has taken that and run with it. One of his emotes now. You know how everybody has the W face.
Yeah.
He's got that. And then he has another one with $ signs over the eyes.
The sellout face.
Sellout face?
It is.
You can tell our teammates have learned a lot from our former teammate, Jerb. God bless.
Never forget.
Never forget. Subscribe and donate, folks.
It's funny. It's like, you think selling out's not that great until you make all that money.
No, yeah. COG Soul
like,
skins.
Okay.
They really pay out, man. I don't know. But as far as Cloud9's composition for this game, I want to see Dare really go all out.
Agreed.
I feel like Dare is one of the hyper carries for the team. Neja brings a ton of lockdown. So early game, Neja's in a tight spot. She doesn't really do much, but she has early game lockdown. She does a decent amount of damage, but really it takes off by the end of mid game, going into late game. Neja has the potential, like for example, let's say he does a blind ultimate into BaRRaCCuDDa Freya. You're gonna die in that ult.
You're dead. Yeah.
You get like couple of crit chains, do the sequence up there, and that's it. You're just dead.
Well, we did see, though, in the last game that he played Najah, that he actually delayed that Deathbringer until – I don't even think he ever bought it. I don't think he got to, like, a 6th slot, but it was like cooldown reduction prioritized and survivability way over the Deathbringer, like, kill potential out of Najah. So
yeah. I mean, you see a lot more survivability itemizations coming on Nejah, mostly because that heal. That heal, due to one of the recent patches, Nejah's 2, when activated, does a burst heal?
Burst heal, yeah.
It's, like, ridiculous. It's actually a lot. It's a significant amount to the point where you have a harder time killing Nejah.
It's really tough to do it effectively, though, right? Because you almost always want to have your attack speed started active when you're trying to kill somebody. But you got to hold it after they cast like 1 or 2 spells to recoup all that HP that you would get from activating it.
So it's like you kind of have to time your steroid that gives you crit and attack speed. You have to time that to the point where you also get, your heal to be the most effective.
Right.
So-
It winds up being something used in the middle of the fight because don't forget, you build that heal by basic attacking. So it's sort of disjointed. You've got the Sash and the Ultimate, which are your ability-based damage, and then Flaming Spear, which winds up being one of the more powerful sort of steroids.
Look at this. Looks like Jeff broke his chair.
That's some
Here you go. Thanks, John. Yeah, can you just hand that to Tom?
Yeah. Thanks, dude. Awesome.
So my man Jeff was excited for that Sobek pick.
Yeah, he was so hyped for Sobek that he
He was
broke
like, I
his
could do
chair.
this. I could do this.
It was funny. Yeah.
It is snapped off.
It was funny. So the Ymir band came out from Cloud9, and we always talk about how Jeff, or all supports, but Jeff specifically is a loud guy. We're, 20 feet away, I guess, and we just hear Jeff go, "That's fine," and locks in Sobek. It was the most enthusiastic Sobek pick I've ever heard.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
It's just so savage. Like
It
there
is so
was actually
exciting.
because there's probably other picks as well that would have also
Yeah.
been fine.
Oh, yeah.
But
That's fine, Ullr!
That's fine.
And I feel like his team is like, Sobek again? Yeah. He's like, yes!
He's like, it's fine.
I love Jeff to death, but
That's probably why he broke his chair. They were like, are you sure it's fine? He was like,
Caveman Jeff coming out, for sure.
it's fine. Let's go to the game.
It's the New
where
York
it's also
Rage.
fine.
yeah, we have
It's a fine game.
a very fine game. Blink early on Athena. Potentially, actually, not even potentially, most likely a ton of aggression coming out of dual lane for both sides. Now, in terms of clear, I would say Ullr Athena have the edge. It depends on how much respect they give to Jeff. Freya not known to have the best of laning phase. I mean, if you ask my opinion, Freya has the worst laning phase. You can't get any worse than Freya. Someone
Yeah.
who has to actually use an ability to have a ranged attack. So
I mean, that's why before this sort of rise of the Freya Hunter, Freya was only allowed in the jungle for a long time. What really made that change happen?
with the
Purple?
Well, with the emergence of, for example, anti-snowballing, hi-rez studios decided, well, let's try to tone down snowballing. But it got to the point where a lot of gods also got a free passageway, even if you die a couple times in lane. We saw that with BaRRaCCuDDa's Muzenkab the first game. I mean, the guy died 5 times in lane. That's if that was post, pre-patch, right? That would have been a snowball out of control for the team of Eager into maybe a possible win, but he was able to keep farming, stayed steady on farm, kept even, and was able to use that. And then once a Muzenkab gets late game, there's no stopping him.
Well, we've seen this start before. We'll see it again now as camps come out.
This is a small thing that I want to bring attention to. Zapman stands behind the camp, which means all of his basics are going to hit the big guy. It's a very small optimization, but if you're standing in front, the 2 little minions will block your basics. Standing in back, all of them go on the big guy. You can use your AoE and hit it. So, again, very small optimizations, but at this level of play, almost everything matters.
Yeah, also, you saw there, it's not the, I'm going to leash the camp to you while you leash the camp to me, and then we're going to kill it on the mid. Lassiz just going to tank it, and he's going to go kill the first wave with a vampiric shot. Full HP, and it'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, he does have, almost 75% of his health remaining, but I'm sure he's not too worried for laning phase right now. And at Andinster,
that's the ring.
Stupid ring.
Taking a little ring to the mouth.
Remember when it used to bounce an additional time and do twice as much damage?
Basically, infinitely.
And give him movement speed?
Naja's one of my favorite characters in Smite, honestly. I think there's a lot this character can bring, and as I said, criminally underpurchased. Oh, rough miscommunication there. The banish from the portal out of the mid laner is actually going to make Daretocare miss the stun in the middle of the minions.
Yeah, Daretocare taking
Actually,
a lot
that in-hand that Lassiz did to Daretocare from the Serqet mez was pretty good.
That's big.
Kill.
There it is. Daretocare gets first blood. He's rooted. He's going to get aggressive on MLC, but
Zapman.
There it
back,
is.
Baby.
So we asked for aggression out of Eager. They've got 2 kills before
Actually,
90 seconds.
I would be very surprised if that wasn't Jeff missing a pluck.
Most likely.
Yeah, most likely that was Jeff trying to make the play because you saw the minion wave was coming in for Cloud9. It was about to meet from Eager. They would have gotten a good bit of damage to pluck him back under tower. So that would be my guess, right? Is that it wasn't the let's jump in and fight them. It was opportunity.
Realistically, it wouldn't make sense for Jeff to make any sort of play unless it's maybe a throw under a tower, just because what kind of kill potential do you have?
Right, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Throw under tower there, he missed,
Yeah.
and they got hit by the axe, and then the follow-up's on
Yeah,
Athena.
so I think that might have been it, but
I mean, Ullr does burst damage.
Oh, dude,
that's the main
Ullr's-
thing he brings to the
That's
table.
his jam.
there's a reason why everyone knows Zap's Ullr as Zuller, because my man does not miss an ability. Most advanced AD carries, they miss 1 or 2 abilities. I miss abilities on Ullr. Zapman does not miss.
And that's what makes Ullr powerful.
well, that's the step between like an above average AD carry to the best AD carry. A lot of people believe if Ullr hits every single, all right, he missed one. Zapman, please.
But no, you're right. If you can hit the metric that I've always thought and heard, as we see
Okay, here we
more
go.
aggression in the mid lane, Daretocare takes him up to the sky. 3 hits and you're down to the
There it
portal.
is.
Not quite able to zigzag out the ring. Not strong enough, but will push
Yeah!
mid lane with the punch from Lassiz. 3 on the board for Eager.
That was straight up the Goku, dude.
Yes.
He just sat there looking at him, was like, and it just like shot it at him.
What does DM say? Is it a spirit gun?
Yeah,
Spirit flail?
spirit. No, he calls it a spirit gun. Because he watched some like janky not Dragon Ball Z anime when he was a kid.
Oh, okay, shout out to Cyclone Spin.
Yeah,
But,
Cycle Spin.
regardless, that was a beautiful play coming out from Dare and Lassiz. Winning the 2v2 effectively and against Serqet, Andinster being level 4, 3 minutes in, not even level 5 yet. He can't even make any plays.
I mean,
right
what
now.
do you realistically do with the stun that takes long enough that you can get hit by Janus? You go up in the air and take damage. When you come down, you're going to be banished for more damage. Without beads online, you can't do anything. You're taking damage for, what, 4 straight seconds? There's a lot there.
And that affects the rest of Cloud9's lanes too, effectively even losing more momentum because BaRRa has to play under tower now. Zapman's pushing up 2v1 because he knows his limitations. And even in Soul Lane, like Omega aggressing on Baskin. Eager...
Yeah.
He's really putting on the pressure right now. It's all because of Daretocare's plays, which is really why he's on the team. He makes the really nice plays and really establishes his team as one of the best junglers.
Yeah,
for,
I
NA.
completely agree. I think Daretocare, when Daretocare is on, he looks like one of the better players in the league.
Absolutely.
It's frightening. And the Najah, again, it's what I consider to be an underpicked god. BaRRaCCuDDa going to be forced into the air. I don't know if there's going to be follow-up. And Daretocare plays it very well.
Yes.
So it really showcases everything here. And it fits Eager's playstyle. We were sort of asking for that aggression. Sure, let's pick an all-in assassin. Let's just go for it.
Well, that's what's been really interesting about this tournament so far is that when Eager absolutely needs a win, they go to Najah.
Yeah.
Which is like, I would say,
Trump card.
40% win rate? Maybe in the history of competitive play, probably lower, except for that one patch where he was broken.
I mean, it seems like everyone Eager does have their trump card to pull out. And as far as Daretocare, you see a lot of Najah. Last is definitely his Janus, which is why you might have seen in the pick and ban phase why they first picked Janus over Serqet. Most other teams would look at that and be like, hello, Eager, what are you doing giving away grand finals? But Eager's like, well, I mean, it's Last's Janus. So, I don't know, but...
Although, I got to tell you, I think that the make or break here in this game for Cloud9 is going to be more on the back of Baskin. I mean, it's 3 physical cores.
Oh, the dash, the blink, the taunt, the damage. Zapman, can you confirm from a distance? The stun and the basic. 4 on the board for Eager.
That was nasty.
That's the Zapman. That's it. He stopped playing another person's play.
That's also the Zapman.
Yeah.
See ya later. But here comes the rest of Eager looking to follow up. Lassiz and Daretocare right in tow. PolarBearMike take ones for the team. Cloud9 finally on the board, 5.5 minutes in.
He knew. He just knew what BaRRaCCuDDa was going to do. He's got to hit A. Got him.
But yeah, that is why Zapman, especially the fact that Cloud9 picked Freya so early gave a difference in picking strategies now, right? They picked Freya fairly early, and Eager capitalized and was like, yo, give me Ullr. That's a very positive matchup for Ullr, especially during the laning phase. While Freya does outscale Ullr, and if Freya does get to the late game, Freya's going to be that much more of a problem. But Ullr's able to control the laning phase, as you see right here, is looking for it, and completely shove BaRRa out of lane. And this is what you need.
Not to mention that Transcendence versus Fatalis is a very, very one-sided matchup for an ability-based hunter. I mean, both of them basically are ability hunters.
Yes.
Freya basically can't prioritize damage in her first item. It has to be Fatalis, more or less. PBM set up again.
They're looking for take 2.
And I think
The
BaRRaCCuDDa
dash,
knows, but he's just
no
too far.
blink. No blink this time.
I think that's fine. The pressure right now is definitely respected. There's the jungler gang. PolarBearMike doesn't have a dash, but they actually let it go, knowing there's no more follow-up. Wow. that.
It's because look at Stealth actually realizes they spot that rotation with a ward. He counter wards it, but they can't continue aggressing in there.
Yes.
The accuracy you were talking about.
Oh, it's only going to get worse.
I mean, that's really, I was alluding to it before. That's what separates, the Ullrs from the Zulers, if you will. If you can hit your 3-1 combo without the stun, you're on a different level.
Absolutely.
And that's what we see out of Zap. You get the 3-1 combo and then the stun afterwards.
But Bear's actually making out of laning phase.
Dare just barely missed all of his spells right there.
Barely.
Like the sash was just out of range. The ring just missed. They're going to maybe set something up there had they got one of those. Definitely 4 speeds on Nua.
The damage is almost guaranteed. Zapman takes a hit from the ultimate, but Athena will help him out just a little bit, enough to disengage, or at least make Cloud9 disengage, rather. I don't see Stealth looking at Dare.
That's 3 potential engagements in a row that Cloud9 has avoided. They've kind of half-assed a lot of these engagements. Mostly, they might have been a call or something's going on where Cloud9's not fully committing. And you can see that with Andinster's play. Like, he kind of jumps in, jumps out, maybe gets a poke, maybe gets a taunt. He wasted his Serqet on Ullr and then runs away. So something must be going on, and Ullr just have full control of the game for right now. And a big reason, by the way, I wanted to pick up on the Najah point, was a big reason why people don't even pick Najah is because a lot of people say just 2 hit or miss. I mean, you can do well with Najah in ranked, but why would you go with Najah when you have the more guaranteed of a different assassin, Thor or Humbots? Yeah, exactly. Where that's more guaranteed. You can't miss that. It's big circles.
Yes, that did just happen.
Baskin was like, thanks for doing all that damage. I'll just Spirit Flail, and this will be mine.
That's the worst feeling, by the way.
Yes.
Trying to steal something and just like, oh, thanks, bro. Like, oh. But yeah, Daretocare is just trying to prove a point that, well, Nejah might be hit or miss, but I'm going to make it not hit or miss. Right?
Exactly, and I think that's one of the beautiful things about this game is that there is a tier list, and certain gods are stronger than others, as Zapman just addressed on. Helped out by PolarBearMike. That'll force Andinster in the other direction. It's a lot of damage.
Early game shield wall does so much damage.
Rotation from Lassiz. Portal's a little spread out.
Yeah, he's like, no, nah.
Thought about it.
And right there, I mean, Andinster didn't have his gank, so I'm not too sure why he went for that. Freya not big enough yet.
That's a big one. Up in the air.
He'd ultimate timed, though.
Almost.
Yeah, just off it looked like. Guaranteed kill. We'll have to use another ultimate here to pick up Baskin, which he'll get. And make it a JeffHindla for free here as well. Nope, he'll find his way out. In the underwater.
But so what I was
Great
saying,
threshold, Lassiz.
there is a tier list. Gods are better than others, quote unquote. But you can sort of play whatever you want if you're talented enough on it. You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying?
I mean, there's a reason why a lot of people didn't even for example, in the beginning of the split, I just picked Freya out of nowhere, and next thing you know, Freya's on top of the meta.
Yeah.
It's all about understanding your picks, understanding the meta, and making the picks work with a well-balanced team.
They're going to try to make another play in a BaRRaCCuDDa.
The dash, the blink, the taunt.
Missed the whoop. This time he beads, though. He's going to try to fight. Zapman misses the point-blank axe there, unfortunately. Still was going to move forward, but now he has to respect the Nua coming in. They'll have the lead to get out of the route, though. A missed opportunity, BaRRaCCuDDa.
That was a great play out of Bear.
Yeah, a little bit of a drop from Ullr.
Yeah.
I mean, BaRRaCCuDDa missed the whoop, which should have set up a better opportunity for Ullr, but he dodged the axe, and that gives him his life.
And the sash. Both stuns out of Ullr missed it. The first time we saw that gank at a PBM, it was flawless.
Yep.
And tried 2 more times, haven't seen it.
Look at it this way, right? BaRRA is 2 levels behind Zapman. He blew beads 1. He blew ult. And he needed help from his teammates. The pressure that Ullr's putting out right now is insane and showing because Zapman has even a better lead. He still has beads online.
Well, let's look at the power real quick. We talk quickly about the power, right? Zapman has 55 in-hand power and 154 physical power, right, is what he's getting. And he gets some power out of different places in his kit. What we're getting at here is that physical power is essentially about half of magical power in terms of value, right? Like you can get 100 magical power item and a 50 physical power item, and they're basically the same. Let's take a look quickly at BaRRaCCuDDa, right? BaRRaCCuDDa sitting on 53 power, right? So Zapman's about 4xing his damage output right now in terms of scaling from power alone. That's based on the Transcendence versus Fatalis. And this is very, very difficult for BaRRaCCuDDa to fight into.
And yeah, Zapman literally going in by himself with the Athena ultimate.
Jeff, got it.
What?
Ooh.
All right. That was a good play. But yeah, forcing BaRRA back, again, he's going to miss out on another wave of experience. And this is a big reason why people don't even respect the Freya pick anymore. It's too hard, especially when you get counterpicked like that. I think if Cloud9 had anything to rethink going into picks and bans for Game 3 here is, well, the second pick Freya probably could have been, pushed down a little bit to like a 4th pick.
Sure. Right. Or were they worried about Zapman's Freya?
I mean, he didn't play it the 2 games, right? Why would he play it now?
I don't know.
So, yeah, I don't know. But
You're the pro.
regardless, well, yeah. But regardless of the fact, yeah, Ullr looking for an early goal for, and it's looking uncontested. Remember, Bear just got his all line, but beads are down.
There it is.
Yeah.
And with that Gold Fury, 12 minutes in, almost, not even almost, 4,500 gold on the side of Ullr as they lead this game by 4 kills, 5-1. PolarBearMike trying to help get JeffHindla into the ground. Jeff, on the other hand, good to turn things around. Damage not going to be good enough. Daretocare goes in with the ult. Not going to get it, though. BaRRaCCuDDa getting very aggressive. Here comes the rest of Cloud9. Daretocare, half. He's even lower than that. Serqet ult is good. Daretocare will fall. MLC stealth with credit.
Oh, he taunted him into the Unstable Vortex. All for a hit there. Zapman with the burst as well. 1 down. MLC stealth gets return kill PBM, but 2 more going the way of Ullr there. Cloud9 dropped 4 in the left side lane, overextended and blown up by the Janus rotation. The beautiful and perfectly timed taunt from PolarBearMike sets that fight up and wins it for Ullr outright.
We are seeing these huge plays on both sides of the coin being made by the LAN rookies. PolarBearMike and Baskin Robin are the 2 players for Ullr and Cloud9 respectively that are turning up. This is exciting.
I mean, that was just beautiful team play, beautiful everything. I mean, this is why you ban Janus versus Lassiz or MLC. Like, it's just Janus ripped them apart there. On top of that, Zapman picks up a double kill, and it's
Zapman hit
bad.
the hail of arrows and,
That
whatever the line one is.
Yeah, the line.
It hit the line and the
bladed
circle.
arrow, excuse
well, he hit both of those at the same time. The Unstable Vortex came through on the 4.
See,
I mean, that's just...
See, you guys are casters and expected to know the ability names. I just say 1 and 3, fam. Like, honestly.
But 1's down.
1's down, yeah. So, but honestly, Zap's playing on point. This is the Zapman that we all know.
Yeah, this is the Zapman.
This is what Ullr needed. Too much late game play style coming out of Zapman. Just pick me Ullr.
Yeah, we were talking about it earlier in the tournament. I think it was Saturday, where teams have really in season 2. You know, we're coming to the end of season 2. At this point in the lifetime of Smite, teams have sort of identified themselves, right? Kiki plays more defensive in the mid lane for your team, and then you take a look at, and you've got Cyclone there, and other teams play defensively out of the solo lane, right? Everybody has their own flavor. Ullr is this aggressive squad, and we just didn't see that.
Yeah.
This game, we're seeing that. It's why they're ahead by 7K.
The fact that they even defeated TSM with a more defensive style shows how much hidden potential Ullr has, especially when they're playing on point with their strategies. You know, this is a more typical Ullr comp. Cloud9, really, this is a typical Cloud9 comp. The biggest thing, I think, it would just be a difference in picks. You know, the Freya pick might have been a little bit too early, and that and Andinster and MLC Stealth did get outplayed in the early games in the middle lane, which really sped Daretocare up to be where he's naturally would be at. Daretocare, 9-0 or 0-9 would be trying to steal red buff right now. That's just how Dare plays.
Right.
It's all about whether or not you give him
He's got a 3-level advantage on Serqet, who had a tough early game. But Naja, one of the things that we haven't really highlighted about this guy is he flash farms jungle camps. Ring toss is insane, and the AoE hit chain is very, very fast. He goes through camps really, really quickly, and you can see that echoed in his level. JeffHindla finds himself isolated as the taunt pulls him away from the team. Zapman gets stunned out and takes quite a bit of damage from Nuwa, forcing TBM to ult onto him, but Omega rotates into the backside of this fight. You can see Lassiz leaving the portal.
I love that decision.
Can he get to it? No, they can't. He just couldn't close the distance there. Now Janus can move forward, and he will. Daretocare gets credited for the kill onto Andy.
Beautiful Aegis.
Yeah, he's going to Aegis. He's going to die there, but BaRRaCCuDDa may go down in return. It looks like body block coming out there. Really nice with PBM to keep him in the soldiers.
Dare gets blown up by
starts
MLC.
To bring it back. Zapman's going to try to run out of this one. PBM on his way as well. Let's see if Ullr can make their way out. MLC dodges shot. Makes the play.
Eyes behind his head.
Well, now he has to deal with Osiris. That's going to be the kill, but not before he takes on MLC stealth. Zapman should play Ullr every game.
Eyes behind his head. This is the view that you got to stick on. It's third person. You can't see behind you. You can't see behind you.
You just can't.
He knew it was coming. Just the intuition, understanding that ability is going to come out from the new
the map
juice
awareness, the understanding of when cooldowns are up, being able to switch around, axe to the dome, bop. Like that, Zapman. He's just...
That's Zapman.
Yeah. There's a reason why we banned his Ullr for a long time in Scrim. That's all I'm going to say. There's a big reason. He's on point right now, and it's showing, and right now Ullr, they're playing well, but Cloud9, they're only 5K down. If they can stall this out, maybe get a lucky goal fear here and there, and maybe turn one team fight or skirmish, they definitely still have a chance. I mean, it's Serqet and Freya. They're ticking time bombs right now, especially with Nuwa. The peel and the defensive properties that Nuwa brings to a team fight. Nuwa has probably the best mage peel in the game, which is why Nuwa is so valued right now in the current meta. Clay Soldiers and Shining Metal is better than half of the Guardian's peel right now. Like that's it is an AoE crazy damage stun. Literally everyone that gets hit by that is going to be like, I'm backing up. It's natural reaction. So if Cloud9 can play this comp correctly, they have still a good chance to turn this around.
But to your point, right, I mean, there's been plenty of games where you've seen an Osiris not have a ton of impact until the 20-plus minute mark and take the game completely over.
Yeah.
And still an option here. Baskin's first rotation, maybe not as successful as you would have wanted. Goes 1-1.
This might be trouble.
They're going to kill Omega, I think.
Omega gets a double stun. Eager gets the Gold Fury during this whole nonsense, so we'll see how this one balances out. Omega flipped up into the damage. Spear Flail will miss, though. And Omega taking full look at Serqet. Andy will be forced out. MLC does kill Omega, but don't forget, Eager got the Gold Fury, and they're already here to respond. Zapman takes down Baskin. Daretocare takes BaRRaCCuDDa for a trip into the sky, and he's going to fall down inside. Still alive, but the ultimate's down.
Can he hit the axe? No, the Clay Soldiers come out blocking the axe down. Stealthful beads. Is that beads one they catch?
Beautiful axe.
Andy's very low. Zapman doesn't have it on the mind, though. Not going to go for the long-range style.
Now, a lot of people would say that that was like an even engagement. One person down for each team. Eager took the Gold Fury, and Janus threw his ultimate out, and the reinforcements were on the way. The fact that Omega stayed alive for the majority of that engagement, that was crazy. Like, Omega almost took down Andinster, 1v2, by the way.
Yep.
And almost got away. And yeah, that was crazy. Crazy just team play overall, and Omega's individual skill really showing up this game compared to the last game.
Yeah, Omega's been a big part of this Eager squad. Very important acquisition here in Season 2.
Here.
Lassiz,
they're porting in behind him as well. Yes, here comes Omega, and Eager wanting to fight right away. They'll find an isolated Andinster. That is a dead Serqet. Yes.
Whoa.
Lassiz, trigger finger, itchy right there.
Spirit fingers.
Spirit fingers, is that what it is?
Lassiz has no problem firing off that ultimate whenever.
Yeah.
That was the Masenko right there.
That he's very accurate with it. I mean, for an ultimate that you have to charge up and, aim globally, he's pretty accurate. He's hit me a couple times with it. It's not fun.
No one enjoying the accuracy of Snoopy, though, yet. We've seen.
He'll get there.
Oh, he hit some serious Janus snipes so far already.
Yeah.
But Lassiz seems to have the better game sense of when to fire, right? Snoopy will hit that cross-level shot, right? But Lassiz is securing, retreating Serqets. Right, he's playing it like rough.
Yeah. I mean, he is... I think Lass's best role is the utility carry mid laner, whereas, Snoopy is probably more of the carry. Right, like Snoopy's definitely playing to carry.
Right.
Lass is definitely aware that he brings a lot more to the team besides damage with the portals. You see him a lot of times. He'll put a portal up. He'll wait there for his teammates to come through. Same thing with Ra. He sets the heal down, heals his team.
That's what we saw. Yeah, we saw Lassiz have some portal tricks over not this last time, but the time before that when they were headed at that tier 2 on the left-hand side. Put the portal out, seeing if Omega could come on through. Ultimately didn't work out, but that was the mindset behind it. And to your point, Bart, about how Laz is able to really sort of understand where players are at, Laz has played mid lane for a long time, but also jungle, don't forget. So he sort of knows the routes that people are going to be maneuvering in and understands the map in a different way almost.
Let's take a look at the graphs here, as the lead that Eager has built for themselves is quite nice. 9K, about 13,000 experience as well. This is pretty much their game to lose at this point. The real big threat is Baskin, and I'm glad to see them paying attention to the right side of the map, keeping him down, because without Baskin Robin, Serqet becomes way less dangerous because they can really just keep track of her during the team fights.
Zapman able to just walk out of 2 of Serqet and a Freya?
Beautiful positioning, knowing where to run to. Runs, jumps away from the Freya instead of towards his team, and wow,
Again.
Those ults.
Laz is murdering it with the ults. He's going to pick up another kill, this time on the solo laner, Baskin Robin. Janus sporting the 5, 1, and 8 slash line. A lot of those kills coming off of those, not the unstable vortex, the ultimates.
Here's also the biggest downfall of Freya. It's so hard to push the tower. They've been on this tower for a long time. They can't even get it. Omega teleports in to taunt on BaRRaCCuDDa, and Omega might even look to kill both of them.
Yeah, Omega can stick to BaRRaCCuDDa, no problem here. And yeah, they're just
Shield of the Underworld as soon as Freya goes up in the air, and Freya's going to go right back down. Understanding. So BaRRaCCuDDa knew he was going to die. Might as well get a couple of hits on tower. I'm going to die anyway, man.
Very smart play. You'll see that a lot out of the more experienced AD carries like BaRRaCCuDDa, where it's like, I'm confirmed 100% dead. I'm going to get this wave real quick. I'm going to hit the tower. I got to get these mid-harpies, man.
Yeah.
Right. Reminds me of Gars yesterday on the Thor. Just like was like I'm pretty dead. And just standing at the tower, try to get it, and then like ult out, and then didn't.
Yeah.
Got Kraken.
But besides that, Ullr still in the lead. They are very far ahead, 21 minutes in the game. And remember, everyone, this is a 0-2 comeback. Like, this is actually pretty insane because most teams would crumble under the amount of pressure being at LAN, being in grand finals, and getting Ullr got absolutely crushed last game. That was probably the worst performance we've seen out of Ullr tonight.
12 minutes surrender.
But at the same time, for them to adapt, fix all their mistakes within a game, and then come back and bring in the pain to Cloud9, that's no easy feat.
Well, I mean, how much Cloud9 surrender now?
Yes.
Do you think this game
No, actually, I don't think it's 100% over. They still have the
late game picks.
Yes, the very late game picks. It's all about whether or not they can maybe get a Gold Fury or get one small engagement, but it's looking curtains right now for Cloud9.
I'm going to bring up the coach again because this is such a unique event where we have the coach on comms. How much of an impact do you think that makes having that sixth person not playing the game to say, don't worry about it, move on?
I mean, you can definitely take care of timers. I'm sure Kret has track of timers, track of mini-map, like, hey, where are you going?
I'm
hey,
talking specifically coming out of the crushing defeat last game.
Oh, I'm sure it helped out a ton.
Oh, there's a fight breaking out here just to the left side of mid lane in the Cloud9 jungle. They've got PolarBearMike overextended a bit. Daredecare's going to try to make his way in, and that'll force out the new wall ultimate. The Osiris tether used as well. That's just off the mark with 2 space and Tim.
You saw that, right? As soon as it went right underneath
it was
MLC.
about a quarter second too early. Omega wants to maintain the front line here as PBM's going to ult back into the fight, going back to the base and healing up.
I like how both teams disengage, but Ullr is still at the advantage. The Blink Taunt comes out, and Ullr's just right now, the major focus is they want to get the tower. They want to get as much objective pressure as they can, even if Cloud9 does back because they are half health. This tier 2 is the goal, right? They're not looking for a kill, pressure into an objective, and that's Ullr's game plan.
Lassiz puts the portal out on the side just as a way for PolarBearMike to come on back. Tower still the focus.
Baskin ported in there. Not a great choice, I don't think.
Oh, well, Lassiz confirms it. Not a good choice. Baskin falls to the wayside. Another kill on the side of the mid lane.
It's the Omega. Here it comes.
Back in.
The recall. Teleport into ward. Place ward for teleport, please.
Did we put that DPS command in the game for Omega?
My man is taking his time.
He's waiting on gold.
What do I want to buy?
Nah, I'll just run.
Okay. Yeah, I'll save it for another day. I mean, it's smart because there's no potential
fight
team
didn't break out.
happening. Yeah, so.
And he knows he's being chased here. He's in the complete, and he's all in enemy colors right now.
With as much mobility as Serqet has, there's, he could probably get away safely. He actually forces Janus to Aegis there, but he is dead. Good night.
Beautiful push. Lassiz goes ahead, picks up another kill.
What? Oh, Serqet ult. It's pretty good. Dots. That new ult. So, actually, that was really good play on Andinster. Like, I don't know. He was able to actually make the fact that he was getting picked there, turn that into an advantage, and picks Lassiz off instead. I mean, with the suicide death. So that was insane.
He was just trying to run away. Might as well get absolutely anything for it. We'll see Stealth still here. Level 20 on that new wall.
And right now, you really see the fact that Freya was so early picked. You really start to see it as Zapman gets another kill on BaRRaCCuDDa. You're starting to see the Freya pick really not working out. And with BaRRa as the lowest gold, I mean, BaRRa was just on point, right? Like, BaRRa's been playing as, like, literally the best AD carry ever. Like, I've never seen BaRRa pop off like that where he's, like, dumpstering everyone, right? But the fact that he goes into third game, early picks a Freya, and he doesn't get that counter pick that we saw the previous 2 games, and now it's not looking too hot with the lowest gold on his team. In fact, the lowest gold in the game by a large margin at 8,000 golds. He's having a hard time.
Well, this is the build that we saw out of Daretocare last time as well, like really, really delaying that Deathbringer. In fact, in the previous game, he picked up a Bluestone pendant in like the 4 slot as well, which he later said was a misclick.
Yeah.
It was funny though because who was it? Some of the European players were like congratulating him on like, oh yeah, it's really smart. Bluestone really good later on the build. He was like, misclick.
Oh, that's savage. Yeah.
That was really funny.
It is good later on in the build on the Warriors.
Yeah, no, hey, look. I think it's a fine item.
I mean, Bluestone's
Look at him
good.
just hunting BaRRaCCuDDa.
I mean, they want to make this as much in favor as possible.
Peace.
At this point, it's come down to BaRRaCCuDDa just a free pick. And I've been there, done that. I'm sure every single hunter has. It gets to the point where you're too far behind to actually do anything. You can't do any damage. You can't survive. And it's just...
They will not kill Omega with all that damage reduction. And now the fight breaking out. 3-man
Triple taunt.
The Janus portal was used, however. But now the fight for Ullr just keep them engaged because Zapman's taking the Phoenix on the left side. If they can prevent the backs here, this is going to just be the game. Like, I don't know if Cloud9 realizes what's going on. Andinster should be backing here.
Zapman's going for the back door, and I think that's game.
that, folks. Daretocare picks up another kill, and he's the only one alive. Can't stop.
Okay, now he's going to back, but nope.
No, he's not. Lassiz is here. Ooh. Totally fine. It's not about killing the players. It's about killing the Titan. Players respawn. Titans don't. And Ullr avoids a 3-game sweep. It's now 2-1. Cloud9 with the advantage, but Ullr just taking that one.
How exciting.
I mean, right now, what you got to look at, Ullr can't make any more mistakes in their draft. Capitalize on the mistakes that Cloud9 can potentially make in draft. And it's really up to, like, both these teams are very evenly matched in terms of, like, what they could potentially do. They have a lot of carries on both of their teams. Both star junglers, both tanky warrior soul laners, both have great AD carries, right? It's all about picks at this point.
Well, I think what's important about that win is that Ullr can now go on to lose this next game if they do and still be like, okay, you know, we still can have dominant performances. We didn't just get outclassed by Cloud9. Maybe we had some draft situations, but the Ullr's always successful when we draft what we know to play well. It can be extremely successful, and we can crush teams, right?
Yeah.
So like that's very different than losing 3-0 to Cloud9 and getting stomped into the ground for each game, and one of them being a 12-minute surrender.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of competitive players, and for just a lot of players in general, a lot of people believe that, well, yeah, the picks, literally, that's 90% of the game. The 10% is just playing out their picks. Well, I mean, it's crazy.
That's enough out of you, Allied. Let's hear what Incon has to say. The captain of the team.
Incon, though.
Not the ADC. Take it away, Chris.
Does Allied's opinion matter?
Not so much.
All right, good to establish that. So this is the return for Ullr. They won a game. They're alive. They're still in the tournament. We have not, like, popped the champagne and started relaxing. How do you think they're feeling right now?
This is a really good turn for Ullr. They have the momentum now going into the game. They've kind of taken a little bit of steam off of Cloud9, but I'm still nervous because we all kind of called it 3-1 at the beginning.
Yeah, this is definitely something that Ullr needed to turn around. Like, this whole tournament is momentum-based, and Ullr turned it around. They got the momentum. Right now, we'll see how it transitions into Game 4. So, yeah.
I mean, there were some really cool moments. For example, Lassiz, every time he plays a character with a snipe, it's like he attaches a scope to his computer. We saw it Game 1 with Ra. We saw it this last game with Janus. Like, we've also seen Zapman just go crazy. Like, players are kind of picking themselves up. Do you think this is just, like, they're getting comfortable, they recognize their position, or, like, was it luck of the draw?
A lot of these picks, actually, that they ran this time were comfort picks. Zapman loves Ullr. That's one of his favorite picks of all time because it's all those skill-based abilities. Same thing with Lass. He loves the raw Janus, snipe combos like you were saying. Also, Janus is one of their favorite picks. They don't get to run it very often because either other teams pick it or ban it because they know how strong Lassiz is at it, and I don't expect him to get it again.
And we heard in the interview with Lassiz and Fats yesterday, I believe, he asked him what was his favorite go-to pick god, and I think the answer was Janus. So
now, on the exact opposite side, we saw Serqet get picked up by Cloud9. Now, Serqet's one of those gods where you just don't see her in play. Like, she's always bad. This was the first game in the tournament she made it through picks. Do you think there was, like, that lack of comfort or inexperience that kind of hit Cloud9?
Yeah, I think honestly it's the Ao Quang syndrome. A lot of the times we saw Ao Quang banned in every scene for 6 weeks straight, and then eventually a team's like, you know what, let's let it through because nobody's gotten any practice with it in scrims or competitive, and then it had a poor showing. Same kind of thing here with Serqet.
Yeah, there was a good bait by Ullr in terms of letting it go through. They could have went and stuck with the Thor, but because the Serqet was open, they were kind of like juiced to pick that. So maybe Cloud9 will actually stray away from it and go back to their comfort pick of Thor.
I mean, it doesn't matter how OP something is if you're just not good at it at the moment. I'm not saying Cloud9 isn't good. I'm saying they have not played 8 games of Serqet, let alone seen Serqet for the past 8 games. All right, now we're going into Game 4. This is still on the ropes. It's still tournament match where if Cloud9 wins, they win everything. What do you think is going to be the response from Ullr? How do they keep this momentum?
Ullr is going to go back to some of their, best picks. They're definitely looking for the Janus. They're looking for the Nezha's actually working wonderfully for them this tournament. I wouldn't be surprised to pick up Nezha from them. That's a very strange pick that they're doing, and 0% chance that Cloud9 picks up Freya again.
I think that Ullr just needs to keep the momentum riding with aggressiveness. The Naja, the Ullr, the Athena. We saw a lot of Athena dash. It's a blink taunt. Long-range dash, blink taunts. So we could see that again with aggressive play from Ullr here.
Yeah, and actually for Cloud9, so, they could always go back to what they did Game 1, Game 2, focus on shutting down Ullr, but you think they're rattled. You think they're feeling okay. Actually, you know what? I know someone who would know the answer to that. Jeff, come on. You gotta get in the middle here.
There you go, Jeff.
You gotta be on camera. All right. So how you feeling right now? This was your first loss of the tournament.
I mean, it happens. Not bad.
That's a good attitude.
Yeah.
So you're not rattling the bones. You guys are still feeling confident.
Yeah, no, we played great Game 1 and Game 2. I think we could work on Game 3, but it's part of the game.
Okay. What happened that kind of collapsed Game 3 for you guys?
We had a pretty rough early game against their comp, and they played it really well.
So, I mean, Game 4, I'm not going to ask for specific picks because, well, they can hear you. So, but, like, do you have anything in mind, like, looking for a different change of pace?
I think we're just going to try and play a little more solid.
Okay, well, go ahead. I think your team needs you.
All right.
I think you got to go ahead.
Oh, baby!
We can hear the teams yelling at each other right now, just like with like the laziest trash talk, actually.
I mean, that kind of banter in LAN, you might as well take advantage of it. We heard it earlier in the first day with COG, definitely showing that off.
Yeah, cognitive. I think just the kings of the trash talk. Now, Incut, I want to ask you, how do you feel about the teams at LAN? Because SPL, it's been going really well for you guys, but I feel like it's just the different environments really kind of changed some attitudes.
Yeah, LAN's one of those things, everybody kind of came into this knowing that, it's not super important in terms of SPL, seeding, right? This doesn't count for that. But what it does do is it gives teams momentum going into the second split. Actually, really important for both Ullr and Cloud9. Cloud9, had a lot of rough times earlier this season with DDoS, and so they're lower than they should be. They're one of the best teams in the region by far. Ullr is on the up and up right now, coming off some great wins, finishing up, tying for second with TSM. Both of these teams need a little boost going into the second half of the season to get to the top 3, staying there.
And that's a good mention of the SPL related to Cloud9, that how they had a little bit of a DDoS issues, and now they're 6-8. This is the second half of the season, and now 6 teams are being allowed from both regions into the Super Regionals, where there'll be 12 teams total competing to the road to the Smite World Championship Season 2.
I gotta say, I'm feeling pretty good about every team at this point. Like, Cognitive, they didn't win their first series, but they looked great, and they barely lost. It was 0 Phoenixes for Ullr in that turnaround. Like, every team has kind of picked up the pace, and I really kind of love. I mean, it's a little worse for you because your competition seems to be getting better, but I gotta say, I love how this is kind of shaping up.
Yeah, it's wonderful to see, a bunch of competition develop. It was one of those things where at one point when we extended out to 8 teams, it was like, are we going to have 8 teams of competition? And now it's like, yeah, we got 8 teams of competition. Everybody's viable. In this first half of the SPL season, we've seen every team take games off of other teams where it's like, oh, TSM's got this 2-0. It's free FP week. It ain't free FP week because everybody's going 1-1.
Yeah, we saw...